Comfort looks good on the outside, right? Routine, stability, ease. But what if I told you it's actually costing you more than you think? You see, I realized that the longer I stayed comfortable, the more I lost momentum, clarity, and even identity. I made a video a couple weeks ago saying how comfort is killing you. And this is a follow-on to the topic talking about how comfort really is more expensive than you think. Comfort is expensive. A lot of people view it as neutral or as the end goal, but I don't agree with that because comfort often feels like peace, but it's really what I realize is a silent decay. There's a season in my life, even in basketball terms, I share YouTube terms a lot, so I'm gonna share a basketball story in this video of when I was at Auburn. I was playing basketball, right? And I had stopped progressing. During my sophomore season, I was leading the SEC in block shots. I had my goal set on being the defensive player of the year. At the end of it, I broke my leg. And long story short, after that, I didn't really believe that I could be a high caliber player anymore. My whole identity was in my jumping ability and my quickness. And with a broken left ankle, I didn't think that I could be truly great anymore. So I started exploring other career options while still at Auburn playing basketball. And that led my career to sort of plateau, right? I never really became that super high caliber defender again. I never really was exceptional. I played decently, right? I played okay, but I wasn't exceptional in any one area. Not in three-point shooting, not in defending. I went from about 2.7 blocks a game to maybe 1.3, less than half. I pulled down way less rebounds. And looking back on it now, not only do I see it as such a wasted opportunity because you only get 4 years for your whole life to do it, but also that I really just got comfortable. I was in my junior and senior season of college. You know, I was on a full scholarship, didn't have to pay for school, just sort of coasting my way to a finance degree. And little did I know that plateau of 2 years probably cost me a lot more than I would imagine. I mean, probably a professional basketball career. I sort of chose to step away from basketball after graduate anyway because it was COVID, but that's a story for another day. But I can come to terms with the idea that I didn't work as hard as I did early on. I didn't put in the amount of effort. I wasn't as determined. I wasn't as relentless that I used to be. And that directly led me to being a less effective basketball player because I got comfortable. And the worst part is that nobody really noticed or blamed me for it, right? Because yeah, I had a broken leg. Of course I wouldn't be able to do the same things that I would before, but truth is I just got comfortable. And I believe that that is how comfort traps you, because comfort doesn't scream at you, it sedates you into a peaceful slumber. So what is the hidden cost of comfort? Comfort costs you your vision. You stop dreaming, you stop searching for more because you're okay with what you have. You're in a place of complacency, so there's no reason to dream for anything bigger. Comfort costs you your discipline. You lose sharpness. You lose self-control. You don't see any consequences for doing the right thing, so you don't do anything. You just stay in the same place. And comfort costs you a lot of opportunities. You start to say no to growth that is disguised as inconvenience. You will never drift into the purpose that the Lord has for your life. You will never just say, oh, I found my calling just by walking on a patch of land and it sort of just landed in my lap. You have to decide what direction you want to go in. And usually, if you are an ambitious person, that requires some uncomfortable moments and that requires a lot of friction. When I avoided hard times on this YouTube channel and especially in my basketball career after breaking my leg, I avoided the exact path that would have matured me and that would have given me an unfair advantage over any of my competitors, whether that be business or sports related. Because if you feel that you have a calling of your life, comfort is the enemy of calling. Every major shift that you're going to have in your life requires a season of discomfort. Starting this YouTube series, uploading every day, uncomfortable. Choosing to write a book that I have not announced yet when there is no guarantee that anyone will be interested in it. Uncomfortable. Waking up at 3:45 in the morning to do a lift every single day except Sundays when my body is screaming to get more sleep. Uncomfortable. That discomfort wakes you up. Pain and discomfort brings out the clarity in your life. Comfort cannot do that. So I'm just gonna have to have the sun in my face now because I keep trying to squash down lower to get out of it, but it's just gonna have to be there. God doesn't develop people in the shallow end of the pool. Faith doesn't grow in comfort. It always and will always grow in seasons of resistance. So I had a buddy the other day ask me, what does adversity look like to Anfernee McLemore? If you're watching this video, you know exactly who you are. But I had to think about it for a second, and I don't think that my answer, because I was put on the spot, truly resonated to the question that was asked. But as for the purpose of this video, this is what adversity, and this is what I do now almost on a daily basis to stay uncomfortable on purpose. As I said earlier, I will start every morning out 6 days a week with a cold start, jumping straight into weightlifting. Getting out of bed, and within 15 minutes, I am downstairs in my garage, picking up and putting down some heavy stuff. After this, I dive directly into reading my one-year Bible and journaling for the day. And one of the other ways that I choose to stay uncomfortable is that I don't look for the daily validation of YouTube analytics anymore. This to YouTubers is almost like an addiction. This is like a drug to see what video did what numbers, how many subscribers you've grown overnight. That's that's like the first thing that most small YouTubers and even some big YouTubers do, is they check their YouTube analytics. So I've been forcing myself, training myself even, to only look at my analytics once a week. I look at them every week on Sunday. I used to do it on Monday, but I figured that Monday, since it was actually a working day, wouldn't be as effective. So I look at it on Sunday, and that's the only time where I get to go in and audit my videos to see what thumbnails are effective, and then plan out my videos for the next week based on that feedback. But what happens is that if I look at it every single day, because this is a relatively small channel, I know that I am not having the impact that I want to have on YouTube. So the numbers don't do anything but discourage me not to keep going. And because I don't want to get discouraged for no reason, and I know I'm going to make videos anyway, I just don't look at the videos, and that makes me uncomfortable. Another way that I stay uncomfortable on purpose is that I make commitments that stretch me a little bit. Having a goal to pay off all my consumer debt in a year or two, or having a fitness goal to gain 10 pounds because I'm a relatively skinny person, making commitments that force me to be disciplined and to stretch myself beyond what I feel can be possible in some stages is a way to keep adversity and uncomfortability in my life. The key that you have to have is creating systems that expect resistances so that you stop interpreting uncomfortable moments as a sign to quit. If you know that it's already going to be hard going into it, then when you actually have a hard moment, you'll be much more likely to be able to push past it instead of getting hit by it and stopping altogether. Comfort wants convenience, but growth needs commitment. So to round off this video now, I guess the key challenge here is that, and it's a little bit cliche, I know, but you can either choose comfort now or regret later. I like to watch videos by this guy named Eddie Pinero now. He's a very motivational speaker, and when I'm working out at 3:45 in the morning, I actually play his hour-long podcast on my phone so I can just be constantly filled with good discipline while I'm working out. And he talks about the idea of taking the road less traveled. Now, I'm not going to steal his thunder, so if you want to watch his whole spiel, then it's called Eddie Pinero on YouTube. I'll link it in the description if I remember. But I think that that's so profound, because even when I was first getting started making these videos that are not necessarily personal finance related, I felt a little bit uncomfortable talking on camera. I didn't know if I would have enough to be talking about. I didn't know if I would be natural enough. But now that I'm almost 30 days in making these videos, it feels like I'm just talking to a person. I said a lot, but I feel like I'm talking to a younger version of myself, and we're just having a conversation. I don't need my videos to be as polished. I don't need them to be perfect, but I just need to show up. And as a recap for this video, because I know I got on a little bit of a tangent, but the main idea of this video is that comfort robs clarity. Comfort dulls your edge, and comfort hides the cost of being comfortable until it's too late. And I believe that every time I resist comfort, every time I resist becoming complacent, every time I do the hard thing, I become a little bit closer to who I feel that I am called to be. It is not easy, but it is not supposed to be easy. But I guarantee you that if you make that decision every single day, it is going to be worth it. If you found any value in this video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.